Hey there, fellow adventurers! Ready to drift into the eerie world of Pokemon number 0092? Its name is Gastly, which means, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially on the road to my absolute favorite Pokemon. I know. Try not to cry. Gastly is known as the Gas Pokemon, but don't let that float over your head. Literally. It's standing at 4 feet 3 inches tall and weighing in at a whopping 0.2 pounds. Gastly is the lightest Pokemon you'll barely ever see. With a type combo of Ghost and Poison, it's pretty much the definition of toxic relationship. And trust me, you do not want to inhale this little guy. They are typically found lurking in deserted buildings and dark, creepy locations. Gastly likes to cluster around the eaves of houses to escape strong winds because even ghosts have weather preferences, hello. But don't worry, they're more into pulling pranks than causing actual harm. Think of Gastly as a class clown, just a bit more poison to their punchline. Now, when I was growing up, like many other millennials, I got a healthy dose of Pokemon before and after school. It was one of my first anime, and it became a part of my routine. But what set it apart from all of the other cartoons I watched at the time was one specific episode that I will never forget. You see, up until I watched this episode, Meowth was the only Pokemon that was able to speak a human language, and then we got the Ghost of Maiden's Peak, where Brock legitimately almost let himself get dragged off into the ocean by a 2,000-year-old ghost of a girl who got ghosted. In this episode, we find out that Gastly disguises himself as both an old woman who scams people for money, though what a Gastly needs money for, I will never know, and as the Maiden of Maiden's Peak herself. It was pretty cool, actually. At first, we're kind of led to believe that he's a bit of a villain, but in the end, it's revealed that he's not really out to hurt anyone. He really only means to keep the old legends alive, and he travels around the Kanto region doing this for spirits of those who haven't passed on, just stirring up some supernatural shenanigans in the name of cultural preservation. Spooky and socially conscious. This episode really showcased Gastly's mischievous side, using its ghostly powers to mess with people's heads and wallets. From that episode on, I had a kind of affinity for ghost-type Pokemon that only grew in later episodes, which I'll obviously be discussing in future entries. Gastly has such a simple little design, but it also leaves so much room for it to be very expressive since that's all it really has. I can see why this Pokemon ends up being a bit of a prankster. Its body is mostly gas, and it's not the kind you'd want to inhale. According to Pokédex entries, its gaseous form contains poison that is fatal if consumed by humans. So yeah, maybe don't go ghost hunting without a good face mask. Moving on to Stoll's studies, we see that his theory on the creation of Gastly sort of ties into many theories out there that Gastly are somehow remnants of humans that have passed on. He approaches this a bit differently in that Gastly is not a spirit, but a ball of floating gastrointestinal bacteria. You heard that right. These microscopic mischief makers are kept in check by a human's immune system while alive and then quickly take over a body during the decomposition phase. They kind of float out with the help of the abundant amounts of hydrogen gas that happens to be a byproduct of the decomposition process. Gross. Stoll also states that Gastly do shed bacteria as they float around, being the harbingers of pranks and reminders of the legends of old. These spectral spores land on plants and grasses, which are then eaten by vegetarian Pokemon, and up the food chain they go until it starts the cycle all over again. Talk about a ghastly game of microbial tag. So technically they are ghosts that originate from people, just not in the ways we thought. And that, fellow trainer, is your ghostly biology lesson for today. Anyway, so there you have it. Gastly, the ghost with the most bacteria. If you enjoyed this ghostly deep dive, hit that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you're craving more Pokemon content and art adventures, don't forget to hit subscribe and join our community. Also, consider supporting my work on Patreon. Your contributions help me create more content and unlock exclusive perks just for you, like behind-the-scenes footage and early access to new pages. Until next time, stay clever and keep exploring.